Welcome back to Fresh Bread. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us today. As you can see, we have a special guest. You know him, Brother Tristan McGee, and we've got another episode for you. So before we get into that, make sure that you like the video, that you comment on the video, and please share with a friend. You never know what might impact your friends around you or even their acquaintances. So please share this with a friend. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so last night, Brother Tristan McGee tore it up, threw down the gauntlet. But no, he preached last night, and he had a great word for us. And so we're just going to kind of go through that a little bit, and we'll see what comes of it. So anyway, let's start with the opening text.
Absolutely.
What was your opening text?
It was Joel 2 and verse 1, and it says, "Sound the trumpet in Jerusalem, raise the alarm on my holy mountain. Let everyone tremble in fear, because the day of the Lord is upon us." Now, the context of this is God was going to bring a massive destruction to their land, and if they didn't get right with God, it wouldn't be, very good for them. And then later on in the chapter, in verse 12, it says, "That is why the Lord is saying, turn to me now, while there is still time. Give me your heart. Come with fasting, weeping, and mourning." Verse 13 says, "Don't tear your clothes in grief, but tear your hearts instead. Return to the Lord your God, for he is merciful and compassionate, slow to get angry, and filled with unfailing love." Now, the reason why he said do not tear your clothes is because back in those days, they would tear their clothes as a sign of extreme grief or sorrow. So basically what God was saying is don't do that, but tear your hearts instead, so I can reconstruct it in the way that I want to.
That's amazing, and I love that. Right there, it's just that call to come back, that
Yes.
call to just right the ship, so to speak. And obviously, this was a common theme, for the children of Israel. They would find themselves serving the Lord with all their heart, and then, a couple chapters later, they're, chasing after idols and doing crazy stuff. So here we go once again, just kind of laying that foundation and showing us, the condition of the human heart, really. And so there's a couple of Bible stories that he talked about last night, and I think that'd be really good to share those, and we can shed some more context for your the opening text there.
Absolutely. So my main story was about most of us know about a man named Saul, and he was a Pharisee in Jerusalem, and he was a persecutor of Christians. And he was actually on the way to Damascus to go persecute some followers of Jesus. But on that road to Damascus, something happened.
Yep.
And as he was going, a blinding light shined down on him, and it stopped them in their paths. It was him and a few others, I'm sure. And then after that, he was obviously really confused. And then the Lord said, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" And I'm sure at this point he was terrified and he was very confused. And he said, basically paraphrasing, who is this? And he said, "I am the Lord thy God," basically. And then from that point, he was blind for 3 days.
Yep.
And God told him to go to Damascus to find a man named Judas. But during that time, a man named Ananias, a disciple, he had a vision, and God basically told him to go and find Saul. Now, I'm sure at this point, Ananias was like, "Bro, ain't no way I'm doing that. Saul is a persecutor of Christians." But then God told him this. He said, "But he will carry out the word." Basically, he will carry out the word to the Gentiles and bring salvation to them.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good. This whole thing with Ananias, obviously Saul's reputation was before him, but I have a feeling, I don't know if this is biblically accurate, but I have a feeling that Ananias knew that Stephen was martyred.
Yeah.
And I think just maybe he was a close friend, maybe a confidant or something like that. That he witnessed that happening. And
Yeah.
so it's safe to say that he had real reason not to do this and to feel fear for his life and to question, God, is that really what you want me to do?
That would be questions.
But yeah, really good stuff there. And so let's go on here to, you had another a story to share with us. And so I'd like to get into that, if you would.
I did. Okay, so it's about the criminals that were beside Jesus on the cross. And Luke 23 says, one of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself and us too while you're at it." But the other criminal protested, "Don't you fear God even when you have been sentenced to death?" That's crazy when someone who is currently being sentenced to death says that. We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong. Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." This is such a powerful story to me because it once again reminds me, because my whole theme of this was it's not too late to get right with God.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was about to bring up. It's not too late, and we saw that with the opening text there in Joel, with the children of Israel, the Lord pleading with them, "Hey, I still love you. I still want relationship with you. You're still my chosen people." And we can reflect that with Saul. Saul, it's not too late to get this thing right. You've been persecuting me. You've been persecuting other Christians. It's not too late to straighten this thing out. And again, just in that whole context and reflection, it's not too late for you to get right with God. No matter what you've done, right? No matter the sin, no matter how many times, it's still not too late. And so it's really awesome. It's a really awesome and powerful message. Why don't you close it out with that personal story that you shared with us?
So I had a great uncle who was, great uncle, and his whole life, probably up until he was 18 years old, he was a chain smoker, smoked every day, multiple packs, and his wife was a very faithful woman. She went to church by herself their whole entire marriage. Until near the end of his life, he developed severe emphysema. And in that moment, I wonder if he felt that what if my wife was right all of these years? And what if I die and I'm not going to make it to heaven?
Mm-hmm.
And it was in that moment when he called my papa and he asked him to baptize him. And then, of course, my papa, he said, absolutely. And he baptized him, and a few days later, he received the gift of the Holy Ghost.
Wow.
And then this is the crazy thing, though. It was about probably a week later or something like that, he passed away.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to say. It is not too late, because where he is at right now, he is dancing on streets of gold, and there is no more sorrow where he is at.
That's right. And this is such a beautiful reflection, I think, of the two thieves that were next to Jesus, and a reflection there because it was in their final moments. And of course, we know one of them rejected. We know that. But the other one was saying, "Remember me. Remember me." And I feel like, your great uncle, that was kind of his moment saying, "God, remember me." Yeah. And God is so faithful that he made that way for your great uncle to be baptized and to be filled with the Holy Ghost. And so that's an awesome reflection of this whole idea and thought. But it is true that it's not too late. No matter how old you are, no matter how far you think you've strayed away from God, it's not too late. And so very great word that we heard last night. So thank you, Tristan, for talking to us and preaching to us. It was exactly what we needed to hear. But anyway, that'll be it for us today. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And I hope and pray that this blesses you and that you are able to share this with somebody else and bless them as well. But that's all we have for you today. So God bless you, and we'll see you in the next one.